gonna yap for a second. Um, so right for a big focus this week for me is right our key highs and lows and whether we displace past them or go ahead and retrace back into the range into a key high or low. Right, seeing where right Monday we delivered from, we left the fat ass INWOG and at the same time right ran back almost into the INWOG the same day. Anyone else hearing this shit or just me? Did I miss something?
Oh, it's your.
Oh my god. Alright, this should be fixed. Yeah, my bad. It's the Hornet, guys. We got them Australian Hornets now. Different A, but we still got them. Alright, fuck, I forgot where I was, so I'm just gonna like start somewhere. Right, obviously, right, our big focus for this week was our key highs and lows and whether we displace past them or not. Right, and then our easy liquidity, our low resistance liquidity runs into forming a high resistance high. Right, even if it was here, Tuesday, I wasn't trading at this time, right, but we, didn't displace past a key high into the INWOG, right, and displace back into the range. Right, this is a time period that I'm probably not really trading at, other than like this small open where I took a short, just to, this, liquidity level, anticipating a Tuesday high week. And, a big thing, right, to, build your confidence for the week, even for us, right? You don't have to come into Tuesday and, have a perfect prediction for the whole week, right? There's no, I guess, real point of that. Even, for us, we don't come on Mondays and, right, really have like a whole weekly bias for the week. We take it one day, at a time and give the clear draws for the day and, as we see them and come in forth, right, and form a weekly profile based on those daily profiles. Usually for us, we leave Monday as an educational day. So seeing right Monday's range, if we come on the higher time frame as well, we're gonna go ahead and remove this and see on the monthly time frame. See that we've went ahead and swept previous month low, and not even previous month, right? But this swing month into April, we've SMT'd the low of the wick, and I even think the body, um, as we see here, and then we've retraced and displaced right higher back inside of the range on the monthly. We see on the weekly as well, right, a candle flip, and obviously I know at the beginning of the week it looks like a big black candle, right, and it takes out sell side. We have our higher time frame SMT, and right, like we usually preach, we try and leave Monday for an educational day. Um, so coming into Tuesday, we see we see right. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Right, we see with Tuesday. Let me actually take that off so we can, come in here. Right, we see with where's Tuesday open? Right here. So we see with Tuesday, right, we go ahead and take out Monday's right high into the INWOG. And right at this time, there's no real clear trade for me. It's the Asia session. I'm not really tripping about trying to take a trade. All I want to see is if Monday did the damage in for Tuesday, right, going ahead to deliver, right, and fill more of the INWOG and take out the low resistance that was built overnight. As for me personally, that's why I, continually trade the New York AM session and only the AM session. It's way easier and clearer, to build your overnight session and understand whether that overnight liquidity is protected or if we're going to go ahead and aim for that overnight liquidity. Even Tuesday, right, when we were displacing lower, right, we have lunch liquidity from the Monday, right, with a sweep of Monday's high into Tuesday. So it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm looking to turtle soup right here from our order block with this, 100% being a protected low because we, have formed a breaker here, but we do have that fair value gap below. And I'm not really worried so much about that, but more or less the order block below, right, these two lows and these equal lows here. After seeing our overnight range form, go ahead and come into Tuesday right here. Right, we see Tuesday, go ahead and break down into the pre-market into London, right, forming a London low, right at 5:30. And whether you see that as, a London low or like a fucking pre-market low, I don't really care. Let's be, yeah, I'm recording it and Crunk's yapping will be recorded too. Um, right? But then we see our retracement into a turtle soup of these highs into our order block, breaker block here on a higher time frame and lower time frame. So we see us redeliver and go ahead and take out that London liquidity. Right, from this point, I wasn't in a trade short here because I saw from the higher time frame we started redelivering bullishly from the higher time frame sweep of the low. So it was just kind of me waiting patiently and seeing what we did past our key London low. If we were going to go ahead and take out this low resistance here into the previous lunch liquidity and the previous AM liquidity, or are we going to leave it protected? Right, that's why I said, did Monday do the damage for Tuesday? After we see our pre-market accumulation into the 8 a.m. into the 9 a.m. open, where we create a Judas swing lower, right into our new 15-minute open low high close, right? It's not super easy to go ahead and catch a reversal into here, right off of this order block, because like we said, right, we don't know for sure if this low is protected at the moment, but right, a key sign like we're talking about is displacement past our key low, right? We see on the 5-minute we get one candle close that almost wicks back within the range, but there's no real displacement. There was no fair value gaps left on the 5-minute, but we did leave one here and deliver back lower to it, right? So we're institutionally delivering with order flow and making sense. We're balancing price range, buy side to sell side, right, and then redelivering lower, right, and continuing to draw into our lower order block, going order block to order block, right, INWOG to order block, higher time frame, right, with our overnight accumulation. Once we saw the soup of the London low, right, accumulation, manipulation, distribution made sense on the lower time frame, right, and higher time frame, right, like we talked about, I wanted to see if that was going to be the true distribution through this low and then our higher time frame low through the range. To me, it didn't quite make sense, and for Crunk as well. So he went ahead and he took a lower position. I waited for more confirmation and then took multiple entries to long. But after this 15-minute closure, right back within the range on the open, low, high close, we don't even have to wait for technically the close, right? Once we see that this low is liquidated, we close back into the range, right? We can almost anticipate, this holding in, our lower time frame order blocks to go ahead and start delivering higher time frame, or excuse me, with our higher time frame order flow. Come back to here, and then, that's what we see, right? We see 5-minute flip, low, open, low, same thing as the 5-minute. And that's what I try and, overlay on the, every single video that I post is higher time frame into low time frame, right? Even here, right, we have a accumulation, manipulation, and that's what I'm talking about with our higher time frame accumulation, manipulation into distribution inside of your lower time frame accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? Because we're still within inside of our accumulated range of overnight into the previous day session. So we see a real accumulation. We don't sweep the range low here because it's protected, right? But we see us dig into the order block, right, sweep a time-based low and return back into the range, right, to then deliver us higher past our Monday high and even into our Asian high, which was created overnight. So we have a clear time-based draw here, and we have a clear time-based key high and low here, or excuse me, key low here. We see how we react from it, and then why we displace higher. So Tuesday was a pretty good day for us, right into this high, and then coming back into Wednesday, even like we said for Wednesday, us shorting here. Honestly, we thought we would go ahead and keep delivering with our bearish order flow, deliver the wick to and through. And we've seen a lot of these Asian smart money reversals. So honestly, we would have anticipated honestly the exact opposite direction, right? Delivering lower, breaking these lows. Right, but we went ahead and left this liquidity for an anticipated failure swing here into low resistance here, and it gave us an obvious draw for Wednesday, right, to do a midweek reversal, and even into the body's telling us that we've accumulated more inside of the INWOG and left more imbalances above. The biggest thing right here is seeing another key low into the order block. We didn't fully close past this low, right, and on a higher time frame as well. Right, super ugly looking, right, but it just tells the sign of a higher time frame accumulation into this manipulation and then distribution higher here. We weren't on top of it quite with this turtle soup here, but into the 8:30 news, we could obviously tell that it was going to be an easy long. We just weren't able to hold to the equal highs as the obvious draw. Kind of skipping forward a bit there. But we're going to go ahead and take some of this off because we've went ahead and gone over it. Kind of skip some points, but if you saw it on the chart, right, you know how to, you know, read. And one key point here, a lot of the time, you know, you'll see a 330 London right before we deliver right to our, you know, draw on liquidity. That's what we see here, right into 330 and 315. We go ahead and flip turtle soup. And a big thing here is another right reaccumulation inside of the range into an accumulation of Asian highs into a a low resistance run here into our breaker formed, and that's just a that's that's like a simple, you know, market maker model, smart money reversal. If you're like super zoomed in, you know, accumulation, 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 smart money reversal, reaccumulation into your reaccumulation into your 330 London kiss of death. Right, same thing here. Key low. Even if you think for some reason we're gonna deliver, you know, with this high resistance high, right, with these two equal highs into a Tuesday high of week, and all we're doing is just coming back into the range here. Wrong way. Right, I wouldn't think this at this point. Right, but you know, as we see, we come into OTE and you know fail to close below and then deliver lower. For some reason, even if you were thinking we were bearish past this low, right, keeping you know our key points in effect with our key highs and lows, right, we see no real displacement past the low, a close back within the range, right, and then a reaction to our rejection block here, and then as well as the hourly time frame, you'll see that rejection block do the same thing, right, overlapping PD arrays into your 3 a.m. right, London turtle soup into a higher time frame PD array, open fair value gap, wick to the left. We might have, you know, tapped EQ of it perfectly, right? Mohawk EQ, like that's like fucking like 52%. Right, touch EQ perfectly, right, leave a breakaway gap below, and then deliver higher to our easy, right, Wednesday draw on liquidity. I didn't take a trade there. I just kind of put in chat where the draw on liquidity was, but right, that's what my thinking was there into, you know, a Wednesday like true low of day. Rather, you know, with having this as our key high and seeing what we do past the key high, especially because we haven't filled all of the end dog and we keep rejecting from it. Um, you know, like we saw here, and we were thinking here with this turtle soup running lower into our low resistance liquidity, right? That's almost the same thing as we've been talking about each time, you know, seeing our key high, how we come above it or below it, and seeing if we, you know, keep expanding, if we, you know, expand past that key high, reaccumulate, turtle soup, and then deliver higher, or if, you know, we barely peak above that key high, right, come back into the range and then deliver lower. As long as you understand which key highs and lows to look for, you can honestly, you know, not pattern trade it, but just, you know, nonchalantly look at the chart and, you know, not have to, you know, really stress because you kind of just know like which certain highs and lows we're going to react from and or keep displacing away from. And that comes into a 10 a.m. reversal, right? Understanding that 4-hour candle change into the 6 into the 10, right? If 6 is going to expand into 10, it's going to be obvious, right? Leaving, you know, with the open, let's go into a lower time frame. Like I said, I wasn't on the chart this day. I was kind of busy into the end of the week. But I think, did somebody capitalize on this crunk? Did anybody short this Wednesday? I can't remember, to be honest. Um, yeah, I can't remember, right? But we see our delivery, right, into our wicks, into our, right, 10 a.m. candle open, right? And we come, accumulate, open, high, low, and then you see also here, right, into a lower time frame, right, we see our hourly open, low, high, close, into the 4-hour open, high, low, close. Here, right, with the 3 candle model, right, and it doesn't turtle soup, but I think we had an SMT there, and either way, right, we see, you know, no displacement past our key high, and right, a delivery back into the range. You can also see that with, you know, an accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, right, also with the higher time frame accumulation, right, within the range, because we didn't break this low, right, and even here, right, we didn't break this high, so we have a lot of, you know, time built within this range, so it can be an accumulation, manipulation higher, and then distribution lower, trying to catch yourself within, you know, both cycles of the higher time frame manipulation and the lower time frame. Delete all the bullshit off the chart. And then, right, that brings us into another Asian smart money reversal for the Thursday. Right, seeing this key low here, right, we thought honestly, right, we would keep displacing past this low into a low, an easy low resistance draw here, and go ahead and fade this SMT and fill these wicks to and through. Right, even though we had that bias, right, we can see, that these lows into this order block is a key area. If we go ahead and reject the low, right, we might go ahead and displace back into the range. That's probably pretty obvious for a lot of people, but right, like we've been talking about the whole time, right, key highs and lows, right, we soup all of these into a low resistance run. We made it, it makes sense up here into a time-based reversal into, right, our PM session, go ahead and expanding, as well as our 6 a.m. 10-hour candle. Right, the 4 hour, right, the 4 hour looks good for shorts right here. Especially, if you're looking back like this, right, that looks, pretty decent, right? We've come out of the range, accumulated, manipulated, and distributed. Or we, haven't distributed yet, but we should distribute past these lows and, maybe continue past these lows. Right, like I talked about, you don't see this low get liquidated with this long candle, right? So we use it as a rejection block. But even then, right, ES swept the low here. So what you'll see a lot of the time is, using this lower time frame order block within here, right, to deliver us higher. I think it was on the 2 hour time frame that looked super clean. Might have been a 3 hour actually.
4 hour.
No, the 3 hour looks super clean with like the order block and tapping into it. I'll show you. So, right, and that, comes into London, coming in with this accumulation, manipulation, distribution here into, right, our low resistance liquidity run into, right, like a very quick reaction from our, over our Monday order block into, from our reactions from our order block, or excuse me, our reactions from our rejection block into our reactions from the SMT as well. So, it makes sense, right, if we start delivering here. We put that London 330 low, low in as well, right? We see the breaker created. It makes sense if we go ahead and start, leave behind London and, accumulate here, pre-market, manipulate the Asian high and deliver lower. That could make sense. So, I feel like 830 was a super free long. Me and Crunk both took that. It wasn't like a, just there wasn't like a super good setup here, but it's just kind of like market enter. And you've guys seen us do that before, but it's not something that we like, want to praise and like teach, because you shouldn't be doing that unless like you just know. But even off the NWOG and where was I don't have an NWOG indicator, so they're hard to pull from the left, right? But even off here, not breaking past it and turtle souping this high, right? I think we tried to short this, and then we took profit inside the breaker, and then with my rules, I try not to flip the position, so I need to just either not take the short here and either right wait for our retracement. But I wanted to see what we would do into the breaker and then into the data lows. But right, obviously, like this looks pretty good. 15-minute and 5-minute to go long, even if you're like getting in late here. Right, just with the this is like classic like CPI like look like you expand, reaccumulate, sweep the lows, turtle soup, right, and then instantly reject back into the range. And I think on the hourly, right, it's just a balanced price range and then delivers higher, leaves a breakaway gap. So I feel like after this, right, it was pretty classic, but I'm just not gonna buy in here. And I think Dodgy like fucking there was one trade that Dodgy ate on. That shit was so annoying. Yeah, like here, shit's so stupid. So this is super obvious. I was just like itching not to like flip my position because that's in my rule set and I can't break my rules, but I'm gonna start looking at that rule because I've had multiple occasions where it's kind of bit me in the butt. But like even I think it was like something off like this, right, where we took short, easy low resistance. This, right, we should have been able to short this then long that to the moon. But yeah, I'll let Crunk go ahead and hop on here and yap. Yeah, go ahead and stop sharing. It wasn't too bad. 20 minutes. I didn't take too much of the time.
Oh, not. No, no, I won't take long. Just explain. Just go more on the weekly profile. PJ explained a lot for each day. I won't do too much there.
Hold on, let me stop the recording.
I mean,
consolidation often is seek and destroy.
All right, you're
Pretty
good.
much is.
You're good.
Right. But the seek and destroy profile usually is usually NFP weeks. That's the difference. Alright. So okay. So starting off the week, right? Massive drop. Due to news, right? We had a lot of shit going on in the world. A lot of stuff going on the weekend, so you know that caused this massive drop. I personally didn't trade Monday because if you look at I mean obviously on a 4 hour, but even like 1 minute candles, there were crazy volatility. Like in this 4 hour candle, we moved fucking 4.5%, right? So you know it was super volatile. But yeah, maybe some people were confused about this kind of price action. I was at first too, right? That's why I longed this, but then I closed too early, right? I could have held. But I'll break down what happened here, right? So what we see here, right? Ignore all these drawings, right? We see Monday, okay? Now that's something I actually talked about in the premium group. I said I wanted a weekly open low to then deliver us higher, right? That's what we talked about. I don't know when it was, like Saturday. We want to see that, right? Because I was thinking, you know, I was not thinking that deep though. You know, I was watching mean threshold of this massive OBE. I was watching those busies, right? Obviously, I didn't expect such a crazy news to happen over the weekend, and such a crazy drop, right? But it was a nice weekly open low, okay? Sweeping this monthly sell side liquidity pool into this weekly order block, right? On the monthly, it ain't anything crazy. I mean, you have this monthly wick, 25% as your key level, right? But obviously you also have your weekly order block, right? Monthly sells like liquidity pool, and we start rejecting it, right? Indicating we did the damage, okay? Forward changes state of delivery is your best guide after such a, if you want a confirmation, right? If you want to go into Tuesday, if you wake up on Tuesday, you need a confirmation for this to be low of week or potential low of week, and you want to take longs on Tuesday, right? You want to watch this if we can form a CISD, right? Especially such a fat, thick candle dumping into the high time frame array or liquidity pool. It's the best order block, right? You'll see that engulfed, which is what we get, right? It's a nice tool to use. We get it right here, right? We get a long on Tuesday. Now this is a NMOG, right? Something you want to watch. New week opening gap. A lot of people may got confused by this drop. I first thought it was weekly. A midweek reversal, right? But turns out it wasn't, right? I'll break down once this idea got invalidated. I marked out some levels already. But you know, going into Wednesday, right? Probably a lot of people with this 4 hour CISD thought we would dump lower, right? It's not a bad idea. You know, you see how this NVOC kind of prevented us from going higher. This NVOC kind of caused, you know, this 3-drive pattern into the NVOC kind of caused this dump, right? Or this steeper retracement before going higher, right? It held price down. So it's not a bad idea to think of this as a midweek reversal profile, right? But you gotta. I didn't like that we didn't touch neither this breaker or this daily order block, right? Because going into the week, I told on like Monday, I said I wanted some of these arrays to be engaged, which we obviously didn't get, but you know we'll get it next week. I wanted some of these arrays at least to be hit, right? For it to be a proper midweek reversal, but you know. I was still saying this could be a midweek reversal, right? Because we also had like I think 25% of the daily FVG. Yeah, look, 25% of the daily FVG. Respected at first, but then you wanna look back, where could your idea be invalidated, right? Where could this just be a, like Twan said, right, a fake market structure shift? Where could this just be a fake move lower and a total soup, right? You gotta watch, you know, where would be a level where the idea would be invalidated. So I marked out 2 levels here. One is obviously the 4 hour OB, right? It's a massive OB, so you can work with quadrant levels inside that OB. I don't recommend working with anything lower than this, because anything lower than 75% usually just results in a rejection block, right? But 50% is still a sensitive level, right? A lot of people forget this. I think just because we dump through like the opening and some of this here, that this key level gets invalidated. No, right? You still want to watch mean threshold as a key level, right? If you all watch core content of 7, ICT for a weekly range, he marks out key levels, and order block mean thresholds, they're still key levels, right? So they're very sensitive. If price is bullish, you're gonna see a reaction of a, if this is a key order block, which it is, you're gonna see a reaction of a midpoint, right? Mean threshold of the order block, right? So that's why I said the 4 hour is pretty clean, because you have this order block. And this is where your idea would get invalidated for shorts, right? During Asia. The daily open low, rejecting the discount daily wick consequent encroachment, alright, from Monday. Okay. Now you still want to get the logic. Just because it's not a classic Tuesday low of week, Monday can still form the low of week if it did the damage, right? You have to stop thinking in terms of patterns, but in terms of logic. What did Monday do, right? Monthly liquidity pool. What do you want more, honestly? Right? If you're bullish, what do you want more, right? I told you all this kind of like a wick, 25% of this wick, weekly order block, monthly liquidity pool. Right? There's nothing price. I mean, it could obviously draw towards this, but that would be bearish, right? If you're bullish, you don't want to see a major decline again to these lows to then go higher again, right? So, you know, you gotta always ask yourself, what did Monday do? It clearly did the damage, right? So that's when you look at the wick, a big wick, rejection block kinda, and measure the quadrants on ES, right? That's also a good sign, right? It's also a PDRA SMT. On EQ we rejected 50%, on ES we rejected 25%. We couldn't even reach 50% of that wick on ES. Alright. That's a very bullish sign, okay? If we react off of these two quadrants, it's a very bullish sign. So wicks are gaps. Okay, so the algorithm goes from internal to external, right? Wicks internal to external, right? Smooth edges liquidity. Okay. So these become equalize. The price will target. Once the idea of shorts gets invalidated, which is right here, these two levels, okay, it gets invalidated, right? Now, I didn't love this Asia SMR, but again, you always gotta ask yourself, what did Asia do for a daily profile, right? For a daily candle. If Asia did the damage and we formed a CISD, are we really gonna dump lower if we bullet, right? If Asia rejected these two key levels that I just explained, and obviously we also have this busy or lower time frame, right? If Asia really did all that, and then we displaced higher, formed the CISD during London, right? Asia manipulation, London rebalance. Will New York really flip the candle, right, and go lower if such a key level for the weekly profile has been rejected, right? Gotta ask yourself that. And then, you know, so you have your Asia low day, which y'all need to study because we've been getting this a lot. Obviously it's not the best time, but you know, if it does the damage, it's still fine, you know. So yeah, and then that just resulted in a classic buy targeting these highs. Right, you really wanna, I'd suggest anyone studying this piece of price action, right, this move down, taking out these failure swings, right? You know, these failure swings after the soup. This low, just a rejection block failure swing. I preach this always in the daily reviews with the premium group, right? On the 4 hour. This on ES. Right, this is the failure swings inside the rejection block. These are the good soup candidates and good SMT candidates, right? Which we get with ES. Also rejecting off of I don't know what the fuck that is. Mean threshold? Oh, I just marked the whole candle, yeah, of the order block. It's also 50% of the order block. So yeah. It's a good SMT candidate as well. So this failure swing doesn't need to be targeted. Only these failure swings, right? After the soup, this was the soup. Failure swings after the soup. This one is SMT, so it doesn't need to be targeted on the Q. These are good targets into our key levels, right? Souped. Then we obviously get our CISD higher, right? Whatever. If you want to use this one or this one, doesn't matter, right? Now this obviously validates the whole idea, but you know, you should be in before 10 AM for such a day. The best entry was 9 AM open low, so I think it was like 950 or something. I missed that. I took 830 longs with PJ, but I missed that sadly. You know, but that's the entry you should have taken, or obviously lower. You know, by 10 you should have been in, my opinion. But then yeah, it just resulted in obviously a slow week, right? First week of August. August is usually a slow month, and then obviously super low in terms of news driver, right? Basically had no news. We had Monday, I think. Do we have Monday? I think we had Monday, like 10 a.m. No, I think Monday 10 a.m. I'm not sure though. I think we had Monday and then Thursday. Yeah, Thursday 8 a.m. 8:30. That's pretty much it, right? Super low impact, right? Low volatility. Preparing for CPI, right? Just a slow week. You can expect that. Ranging week kinda, right? It's still a good study, right? Studying these days what they did. Friday as well, if we measure weekly low to the weekly high before this low was put in on Friday. It's this right here, and then you can put another fib. I think like 20% or something were respected, right? I believe. Right. So it was kind of like a fake TGF into the busy. Yeah, then go higher. Why this wasn't higher day? You can study. I taught this in a premium group. This can't be higher day. If you go back and study daily profiles, you'll know why this on a Friday. You likely won't get this as a higher day. It's a daily profile, right? You can go back and study this. It's kind of like a fake TGF, right? I trusted this. I longed this. If y'all saw on Twitter, right? I got a good long, caught like 400 ticks, 300 ticks, and then got stopped BE sadly before the run higher. 10 sharp decline retracement. It was ugly, yeah. The delivery, I mean, it's just, sloppy Friday. We had in terms of percentage, right, we still had a big week at 7.4%. But yeah, slower week trading inside the range, and then obviously Friday, no news. It's very unlikely that Friday will just immediately crazy expand, right? But the buys should be clear. If you get a Monday low of week, and our premium array, high time for premium array hasn't been engaged yet, you should know the bias for Thursday and Friday, right? For this Thursday, you should know the bias for Friday, and then you should also know the bias for Friday just by seeing this, right? A lot of people shorted this, got fucked, right? Because they don't know that Friday can't do this, can't put this high day, right? But yeah, that's it from me. Still a good week to study. Obviously not the cleanest in terms of price action, a little sloppy. But it is what it is. It's August, first week of August, no news pretty much. Gotta be prepared for next week because next week gotta be a banger. Got PPI, CPI. Thursday we also got some news, right? Unemployment claims. Yeah, will be a good week. Good week ahead of us. If any of y'all got questions, you should drop them now because we don't have infinite time.
Woo woo woo. Boom.